Okay, we are going to be using Microsoft Paint and creating something called a tessellation. I'll show you some examples of tessellations. A tessellation is a shape that repeats, and not only does it repeat, but it also fits into itself. So you'll notice a few different examples here. We're going to create something similar in in Paint. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's take a look at Paint. What we're going to do, the first thing is I want you to look in the bottom right corner and make sure that you're zoomed to 100, and I want you to make sure you see the entire canvas at 100%. What you'll notice on my page is I have a scroll bar, and if I scroll down, I see the bottom. I don't want that. What I need you to do is if you have a scroll bar on the side or on the bottom, you need to scroll to the far corner, and you'll see a little tiny triangle or a little rectangle handlebar. You're going to click and drag and resize the canvas. You'll get like a little double arrow when you put your mouse over the handlebar. And I want you to make it so that you're zoomed to 100 and that you can see the whole canvas. Now through the video, each chunk, I'm going to want you to pause and then go do it in Word and then come back. So right now pause and make sure that your canvas fills the whole page at 100% zoomed. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is to start our tessellation, we need a square or a rectangle. So up in your shape area, find the rectangle. And over in your colors, make sure color 1 is black and color 2 is white. Color 1 will give us a black outline for a rectangle. That color 2 is anytime a section is deleted or erased, color 2 is going to show. Because our background is white, I need color 2 to be white. So color 1 is black, color 2 is white. Get your rectangle shape and either draw a square or a rectangle. As close as you can get, does not have to be perfect. Then we're going to head over to our paint bucket tool and we're going to fill our rectangle with black. So go ahead and pause and get that done now too. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is go to our select tool. Now you'll notice it's a rectangle. I don't want that right now. I want you to click on the little select arrow, and two things we're going to do. The first thing is we're going to click transparent selection. What that's going to do is the lasso that we're going to use, if we do transparent, any extra white area is not going to be selected. So it's actually going to make our tessellation so much easier to do. So transparent selection should be checkmarked, and then choose free form selection. So what I want you to do is you're going to put your mouse, you'll have a little crosshair, like a little four-way cross. You're going to put it in the upper left corner, as exactly on the corner as you can. You're going to click and hold your mouse button, and you're going to just draw randomly along the side, and you're going to end in the bottom left corner. So you're starting in the top left, ending in the bottom left. And what you'll notice is you're just going to get a little rectangular selection. Okay, pause and do that, but don't click anywhere else. Just after you do the lasso, pause. Okay, once you've lassoed and you have this little square, if you clicked outside and it disappeared, you got to do it again. So with this rectangle selection, in the middle I have a four-way arrow. That means I'm ready to select. I want you to click and drag to the right, and you'll start to notice something crazy happened. I now have that piece I just lassoed. Now keep a hold of it. Do not let go. What your job is to line it up on the right side like I am here. Line it up as perfectly as possible. You don't want to line like this. Our corners are off. You want to get your corners as matched up as possible. And let go. And then I want you to click out to the side. That's our first half of our tessellation. So pause here and get that part done. Okay, now our next part, I'm going to go from my upper left corner to my upper right corner. And please be aware, I don't want to cut into what I've already cut. So when I do this selection, I'm going to need to come out this way. You could go sharp if you want to go sharp, however you want to do it, but you have to end in that upper right corner. So upper left corner to the upper right corner. Put my mouse in the middle of my selection rectangle, and I'll drag down and line up as perfectly as possible. Now if you notice, see how it's a little bit off? That's because I see how up at the top I started in a little bit. If you're unsure where to line it up, go back to where it was and kind of eyeball and say, oh, well, my right side is lined up, my left side wasn't so much. So at the bottom, I want to make sure my right is lined up and let go. And then click outside. So your job right now, if you need to rewind and watch it again, do it because you need this shape before we're going to move on to the next part. So pause here and get your tessellation shape. All right, now what we're going to do is I'm going to go get my rectangular selection, and I'm going to draw a rectangular selection around the whole thing and move it. It's now one solid piece. So I'm going to move it up to the corner of my paper, and then I'm going to hit my copy button and hit my paste button. And I'm going to drag it out to the side. So when I pasted this shape, I needed to pull it to the side because I didn't want these two stuck together. Pull it out to the side and go get the paint bucket. And I want you to color that in as some different color. Okay, pause here, get this part done. Now let's go back to our select tool, and we're going to highlight the red shape, and I'm going to come on up to the top, and I'm going to fit this shape. Now this left side will slide or tessellate to the right and match up here. Match it up as good as you can without having any white. And let go. Click outside. Now I still have the main one copied, so I'm going to paste again. Drag it out to the side. Pause and get that part done. I'm going to get my paint bucket and I'm going to paint it a different color. Hit my select tool, select it, and line it up. Click outside. Pause and do that part. Now this is just a repeating process. Paste, move, fill with color, select, line it up, click outside, pause and get that part done. All right, paste again, pull it down, pick a different color. Now at some point you can start repeating your colors, just be aware, like let's say I want to repeat the red. Okay, just be careful. When I select it, make sure that you don't have the same color right next to each other. They can be diagonal like this one is. Okay, tops meet with bottoms, left meets with right. This one's going to be a little bit tricky to get, that's perfect as I can get. Click out. Paste, pull down, fill it, select, move. Line it up as good as you can. You can always go back and fill in those little empty colors. Paste, fill it, select, drag. Paste, oh, black is the color that I want. Okay, so what your job is to get this entire page filled with some sort of pattern. Now, these little sections that we're missing here, like this little spot is red. I can always go to the red, get the paint bucket, as long as I'm in, oops, undo is my friend. As long as I can get in there, the tip of the paint bucket needs to be in, or maybe I want to use a brush. I can always go back in and fill those little spots in. Don't have to, it's not a big deal if you don't. Oops. Okay, but your job is to get the whole page filled with a tessellation. Have fun.